Yes, that were definitely more than a handful, even for him. Even with all that to keep him entertained, he couldn't look away from those eyes. If he didn't know for a fact she was full human, he'd swear she was one of them. It wouldn't matter what breed, either. It was her eyes. She had the eyes of a predator, and, he'd bet, the soul of one, too. "Afternoon, everyone," she said cheerily, her grin wide. "How is everyone this beautiful day?" Tully had to duck his head, rubbing his nose to stop the laughter. He could hear his stepdaddy, Jack Treherne, growling across from him, annoyed by Jamie's obnoxiously perky cheeriness. Behind Jamie came the rest of her coven. As a functioning unit, they weren't half bad, although there seemed to be more infighting among 5 full human females than there was among the nearly 55 members of the local Martoni hyena clan. But each coven member was so different, it amazed him the women had joined forces at all. There was sweet Emma, whom Kyle had snagged as his own before the rest of them had even gotten a good look at her. Of course, she was such a cute and sweet little thing, Tully couldn't blame his brother. He definitely would have tried if it had been anyone but Kyle who'd been sniffing around him. Then there was the always friendly, dang near loved everybody, couldn't get enough of people, wanted everyone to be happy and show it, Seneca. She'd somehow found her way among the bears, which only proved she was a sweetheart down to her toes, because those easily startled, oversized bastards didn't like anybody but themselves, and fresh salmon. The one he had the least interest in was Kendall, also known as Kenny. She was a real Yankee, not remotely friendly, suspicious, paranoid, and almost defiantly plain. They rarely saw her during the day, and when she did come out after the sun had gone down, she would usually head over to the edge of town where some wild dogs had opened a comic book and gaming store. The one Tully found much more interesting was the extremely statuesque Mackenzie. Mac was about his height, a cool 6'3", and a former firefighter. It had taken her time to warm up to the locals, but she found her way merely by not being her cousin, by not being Jamie Meacham. As head of the Coven of the Darkest Night, Jamie was nothing but gorgeous trouble, rolled in brown sugar and dusted in arsenic. Yeah, Jamie was the one he found the most entertaining. Why? Because if he didn't know better, he'd swear that woman didn't give a damn about anybody. She strutted through life tempting fates and whatever power she or anyone else worshipped. She brought out the worst in the predators around her, insisted on calling his baby sister Snaggle because of the state of Katie's fangs while in shifted form, and kept a sidearm on her at all times. Last he checked it was a .380 auto, but was known to travel with a rifle at night, both of which were illegal within Smithville County lines. Remind her of that, though, and she'd only laugh. Bear McMahon, grizzly and sheriff of Smithville, had put it best one day when he said, "It's when that woman is quiet that I get worried." Tully watched as she strode up to the big table they used for their meetings, walked around it to the small stage behind them, turned, and lifted herself onto it. Once she settled in, she crossed her long legs and studied everyone. She smiled, and everyone but him leaned back from that smile. She glanced over at Jack, who'd ordered this meeting. He was second in charge next to Bear's mama, Gwen, and Jack's own mama had once been rumored to complain, "He came out of me snarling at the doctor who'd slapped him." And it was that snarling feline that Jamie turned away from when Jack opened his mouth to speak, focused those beautiful dark eyes Tully's way, and said, smooth as silk, "Tully Smith, you called? Why do you insist on doing the things you do?" It was the question her mother used to ask her constantly when they still spoke. But Jamie Meacham, former Nassau County detective and high priestess of the Coven of the Darkest Night, never had an answer to that question. All she knew was that she never colored within the lines, she didn't like boundaries, and she hated rules and regulations, except the most basic kind. Anything or anyone that